Hi, I'm Dave, WB9TEN, and this is the third of several videos to run PAT, a Winlink client, on Windows. In this video I will cover sending messages with PAT and the Vara protocol using an HF transceiver. If you have not yet installed PAT or have yet to send a Winlink message, take the time to watch my first video, PAT for Windows, sending your first message. This video will build on what I covered in that video. Before I get started, I want to thank E5HVK, Jose Alberto Nieto Ros, and his team for developing and maintaining Vara. The Vara signal is a weak signal, robust modulation method called orthogonal frequency division multiplexing or OFDM. It was developed as a method for sending digital messages with the Winlink message system. Although Vara includes several variations, I will be using only Vara HF for this video. In the example that follows, I will be using an Icom IC-7300 computer-aided transceiver. However, the procedures for other radios will be similar. Now, let's take a look at the various parts of a PAT and Vara system. A complete Vara installation requires the use of 5 programs. First, as with all PAT systems on Windows, you start with PAT and a browser. The following 3 programs in a PAT system form an audio path and a command path. Vara, the only program in the audio path, processes audio signals for modulation and demodulation in the transceiver. This is well described in other places and will not be covered here. 2 additional programs form the command path for computer-aided transceivers or CAT-controlled radios. The programs manage push-to-talk, frequency selection, and other essential parameters. The first of the command programs is RigCtrl-D, from the Hamlib collection of programs. By using RigCtrl-D, PAT does not have to be developed for every radio, just RigCtrl-D. RigCtrl-D receives commands in the Hamlib format and then passes them on in a format understood by the next part of the chain. It also receives information on the actual state of the radio and passes it back to PAT. FLrig from the FLdig collection receives commands from RigCtrl-D, and then formats them for a specific CAT transceiver. Because FLrig has a graphical user interface and is compatible with most CAT-controlled rigs, it is an easy and user-friendly way to set up an interface for a specific radio. Vara sends audio and FLrig sends commands to the radio through a USB CAT port. Even though the radio uses only one physical USB connection, in Windows, audio will appear as a sound device and the commands will be sent and received through a COM port. Note that there are several computer ports listed for the system. These ports designate a path in Windows for each type of data. It is essential that these ports are identical in both programs using the port. The ports shown are default values, but experienced users may change them if needed. The next step is to download the 3 new programs to add Vara to PAT. If Vara, RigCtrl-D, and FLrig are already on your computer, you can skip to configure Vara. First, download Vara. Open a browser and enter rosmodem.wordpress.com. On the EA5HVK Weak Signals software page, scroll down to the line with Vara HF and click the link. This will open the Vara products page. Click the Vara HF link. This will download a zip file with the Vara installer inside. Click Open Downloads folder. And then open the zip file. Move the installer to your desktop or other convenient location. To start the installation, right-click the installer and then choose Run as Administrator. Windows Defender may attempt to block the installer. Click More Info and then Run Anyway to continue. Windows requires verification that you want to continue. Click Yes. In the Welcome dialog, click Next. Select I accept the agreement and then click Next. Allow Vara to install in the default location C:\Vara. That is where other programs such as Winlink Express expects to find Vara. Click Next to use the default location. Select Create a desktop icon. This is a convenient way to start Vara. Click Next. If everything is ready, click Install. The installer will add Vara to your computer. When the installation is complete, click OK and then Finish. The Vara main screen will open. For now, close Vara. Configuration will be covered later in this video. Next, you will download Hamlib. Open a browser. And enter hamlib.github.io. On the GitHub Ham Radio Control Library page, locate the Hamlib link that includes the version number. This will take you to the latest, stable release of the Hamlib suite of programs. Under Assets are links to all of the variations of Hamlib, including versions for Linux and source code. To use Hamlib with PAT, you need either the 32 or 64-bit zip file for Windows. If you are unsure of which one you need, use the 32-bit version. I know that I am running a 64-bit computer, so I am going to choose the link that ends with w64-463.zip. This will download a zip file with the Hamlib folder inside. Click Open Downloads folder. And then minimize the browser. Open the zip file. Move the Hamlib folder that includes the version number to C drive. In Windows Explorer, locate the Hamlib folder. Rename the Hamlib folder to just Hamlib. This will make it easier to start rig Ctrl-D from a command prompt. Close the window. Finally, we will download FLrig. Open a browser. And enter sourceforge.net/projects/FLdigi/files/FLrig. On the SourceForge FLdigi page, locate the link that starts with FLrig and ends with setup.exe. The exact version may change from time to time. Click the link to start the download. When the download is complete, click Open Downloads folder. And then minimize the browser. Move the FLrig setup file to your desktop or other convenient location. Close the window. Double-click the installer to start the installation. Windows Defender may attempt to block the installer. Click More Info and then Run Anyway to continue. Windows requires verification that you want to continue. Click Yes. Read the license agreement and then click Continue. Review the install options. Usually the default selections are all that you need. Click Next when ready. If everything is ready, click Install. The installer will add FLrig to your computer. When the installation is complete, click Close. Next, configure Vara. Before you begin, you will need your registration number. If you do not have a registration number, you can still use Vara, but the speed will be limited. You will also need to know the COM port number of your radio and the names of the USB audio devices. Start and configure your radio for CAT communications, plug it into a USB port and open Device Manager. In the Device Manager window, scroll down to Ports, COM and LPT. Click the arrow on the left to expand ports. For the Icom IC-7300, the line starts with Silicon Labs. On that same line is a COM port number. In this example it is COM3. Make note of this number, you will need it later to configure FLrig. Scroll on down and expand the line for sound, video and game controllers. For the IC-7300, the sound card is named USB audio codec, but may be different for your radio. You will need this name to configure Vara. Close Device Manager. Now, double-click the Vara icon to start Vara. From the Settings menu, choose Vara Setup. In the Setup dialog, enter your call sign. And then your registration number if you have one. Verify that in TCP ports, command is set to 8300. The data port is set automatically. All other settings can remain at their default values. When ready, click Close. Now, from the Settings menu, choose Sound Card. From the device input list, choose the entry with microphone and the audio device that corresponds to the sound card for your radio. For my Icom, it is USB audio codec. Then, from the device output list, choose the entry with speaker and the audio device that corresponds to the sound card for your radio. As with the device input, it is USB audio codec. If your radio is connected to an antenna and tuned to an active frequency, you will see activity in the waterfall window. Click Close. That completes the configuration for Vara. Close Vara. You will come back to that later. FLrig is the final of the 3 new programs that you will need to configure. Before you start, you will need to know the COM port number of your radio that you found in Device Manager. Verify that your radio is configured for CAT communications and plug it into a USB port. Then, start FLrig by double-clicking the icon. From the Config menu, choose Setup. And then, Transceiver. Scroll through the rig list until you find your radio. In the list next to Update, select the COM port that was listed in Device Manager. In the baud list, select the speed that matches the configuration of your radio. Verify that the CAT address is correct. When you choose a radio from the rig list, FLrig will automatically fill in the default address for that model. Note that this entry 0x94 is in hexadecimal as noted by the 0x prefix. When everything is set, click Init and FLrig will connect to the radio. Close the configuration menu. The final step is to select USB-D. This selects the correct sideband and sets the filter bandwidth for best digital performance. For now, minimize FLrig. We will come back to it later. With the required programs installed, you are now ready to configure everything to send a Vara message on HF. Start or maximize FLrig. Verify or set it to USB-D. Drag it to the side so that it will be visible. Next, start Rig Control D in a command prompt window. First change to the Hamlib binaries directory by typing cd/hamlib/bin and then enter. Then type Rig Control D, space, -m, space, 4, and enter. The only indication that Rig Control D is running is in the top of the window. Minimize the window. Double-click the Vara icon to start it. If your radio is connected and tuned to an active channel, you will see activity in the window. Now you can start PAT. In a command prompt window, change to the WL-PAT directory. Start PAT by entering PAT HTTP. PAT can now be configured in a browser for HF Vara. Now, minimize the window. And start a browser. Enter localhost :8080 to open the PAT main page. From the Action menu choose Configure. In the Configuration page, scroll down to Hamlib Rigs. And click to expand it. A definition for SoundModem is already in my list. The next step is to add a new rig definition to the list. To add a new rig for Vara HF, click Add Rig. In Rig Name, my IC-7300 is already in the text box as a suggestion. Enter the name you choose for your rig. I use IC-7300 to avoid confusion with the suggestion. In Address Port, enter localhost :4532. Verify that connection type is set to TCP. Leave default VFO set to default. When ready, scroll down and click Save Changes. In the Restart Required dialog, click Restart Now. After PAT restarts, click Close. Scroll up and expand Vara HF. From the rig list, choose IC-7300. And then select PTT Control. When ready, scroll to Save Changes and Restart. Scroll to the top and choose Back to Mailbox. From the Action menu, choose Connect. And then from the Transport list, choose Vara HF. Click Show RMS List. And then choose a band and then an RMS. PAT will change to the frequency of the selected RMS. You are ready to send and receive messages using Vara HF. Click Connect. As soon as the channel is clear, PAT will connect to the selected RMS and download any waiting messages and send any messages in the outbox. Composing and sending messages was covered in my first video, PAT for Windows, sending your first message. Before I close this video, I want to leave you with some resources. The EA5HVK page at rosmodem.wordpress.com, from where you downloaded Vara, is a good place to start. There is a Groups.io Vara forum at groups.io/g/vara-modem. FLrig users have a forum at groups.io/g/win-FLrig. Watch for other videos in this series. 73, and I will see you down the log.